Hi, my name is Aaron, this is my show Re-Education, and we have to talk about the war on Christmas. Now, I don't know if you guys realize this, but the war on Christmas is a real thing, and it's been me the entire time. I've been the one that's been actually doing this whole war on Christmas thing, because I hate Santa Claus and everything he stands for. I think that Santa Claus needs to be destroyed. We need to wage a real war on Christmas, and we're going to talk about that. Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, Santa Claus is a fascist. I don't know how anybody else doesn't realize this, but clearly the way that he structures his whole assembly line process is basically a fascist totalitarian dictatorship, with him at the top as the top elf, and all of those little elf creatures making all of his little toys for him, or at least that's what we're told is what's going on. First of all, I have to ask you this. Who elected Santa Claus? Why isn't the Santa Claus position an elected one? Why is it that he gets the job solely because he's the largest elf? Some sort of outdated blood inheritance where only the largest elf creatures get to be the ones that are in charge. It's like a caste system. And really, it reminds me a whole lot of the Ubermensch, where they have some sort of superior being, in this case, the largest, jolliest of all elves. It's disgusting. And the other thing is that we're told that Santa Claus is a whole bunch of elves creating his toys that he sends out every single Christmas. But is it really elves? Does he really actually have elves creating those toys? Or does the North Pole, just like every other Nordic model country, just export all of its exploitation to somewhere in the global south, where Big Christmas has created virtual slave markets and sweatshops to produce those little wooden trains and, I don't know, PlayStation 5s or whatever. And that's all across the entire world, but we're not even focusing specifically on the North Pole itself. In the North Pole, what happened to all those good, hard-working elves that lost their jobs because Santa Claus needed to save a few dollars while he was creating all of these toys? Well, obviously, they ended up unemployed. Not only has elf wages stagnated since the 1970s, the top 1% of Santa Clauses has been gaining 90% of the wealth, and that doesn't even include what's been going on since the pandemic. And we all know that the North Pole is horrible when it comes to healthcare. They haven't been distributing masks properly, they haven't had enough ventilators. The entire time this pandemic has raged on, the North Pole has suffered immense casualties because the elves just do not have the proper health care and equipment that they need to actually survive. And it's because Santa Claus never invested in his own community. It's because Santa Claus, just like every ruler and dictator across the entire world, doesn't really care about the people themselves. He only cares about keeping himself in power. And he only really cares about the bottom line. Don't tell me that he just gives away all of those presents for free. We all know that it's basically a charity write-off. He does it for tax purposes. Look at how big Christmas is. It's a massive multinational corporation. It basically has a holiday monopoly across all of December. In fact, it's even encroaching on other months like October and November. Hardworking jack-o'-lanterns and holiday turkeys have had their communities decimated because of Big Christmas. And think of how many hundreds of billions of dollars are made just in those few months. Big Christmas makes so much money, it's outrageous. Some businesses, in Big Christmas Inc., make the majority of their profit just during the Christmas season. They could actually go all year long not making very much of a profit, while during that Christmas season making the majority of the profit that they're going to make throughout the entire year. And let's talk for a second about how racist and bigoted and chauvinistic Christmas and Santa Claus really is. Why is it that Santa Claus always seems to deliver the best, highest quality, most expensive toys and goods and presents to the kids that live in the global north, but never seem to deliver quite as high of quality of presents to the kids in the global south? Why is it that some countries don't get Christmas at all, while others get seemingly almost all of the Christmas? There's a clear disparity between the Christmas that white children get versus the Christmas that black children get. And even though the North Pole is apparently where Christmas comes from, why is it that America seems to be so tied to Christmas? America is constantly giving foreign aid to the North Pole. In fact, the North Pole is set up with even better healthcare than the United States has. And yet the North Pole is constantly involved in altercations all across the entire world, and nobody ever seems to talk about it. What about the North Pole's involvement in the genocide in Elfvania? And why is it that the United States continuously supplies arms and armaments to nutcrackers all across the entire world just so they can implement their authoritarian dictatorship of Christmas? I'm really losing the plot on this one. I think that it's time that we work together and unionize the elves. They need to have full control and ownership of the product of their labor. And I think that it's finally time that we stop this exploitation that Santa Claus and the North Pole have over flying reindeer. It's honestly disgusting, the kind of factory farming that they do with these beautiful... the kind of factory farming that they do with these beautiful, amazing creatures. We have to defund the nutcrackers, and we need to abolish the Santocracy. Santocracy? We need to defund the nutcrackers and abolish the Santocracy once and for all. Because it's time that the elves and the people take back Christmas for themselves and don't allow it to be controlled by a dictatorship of the 1% of Santa Clauses. At least... that's the way I look at it. If you do, okay, honestly, I actually love Christmas. This was, hopefully you'll know that this was a joke, though I'm sure a lot of chuds will probably watch this and think that I'm somehow sincere. Anyway, I hope every one of you has a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Hanukkah, Happy Krishna, whatever you believe, have a happy, joyous one of those. And if you don't believe in any of them, just enjoy a couple of days off and, get drunk. Anyway, that's my show. My name is Aaron. If you do get a chance, please check out all of the links in the description box below. Hit the little bell button because you know that they're not going to let you, they're just never going to let you know that I release videos. And make sure you're subscribed because they're unsubscribing people every single day. Thank you very much for watching. Happy holidays.